The engine is starting up.
For launch. GC, go. Guidance, go. Fido, go. Prop, go. GNC, go. Max, go. Eagle, go. Ecom,
go. Pending final steps to cabin link check.
2, 1.
Is there anyone here that would like to communicate with us? Can you give us a sign?
Welcome to the Rift Nation Network, the RNN, putting a slide in your glide and a dip in your hip. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe. With shows throughout the week, you can find us at Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and more. Everything you could want, everything you can need right here, right now. From the paranormal to the supernatural. From comedy to the spiritual. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
It's showtime, folks!
Podcast may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content, but topics discussed may include mature themes such as violence, explicit language, or controversial subjects, triggering content including discussions related to mental health, trauma, or other sensitive issues, explicit language. Occasionally, our guests or hosts may use strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, we encourage listeners to exercise discretion. If you find any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember that this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. If you need assistance, please consult a
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Uncharted Realms. I'm so excited to see you guys. I see Sarah and Heidi and Mandy and Renee and Keith and Lance and all you beautiful people in the chat. Thank you guys so much for the shares and likes. I'm so excited. I have someone very special next to me tonight. So tonight I have a special guest, Miss Glenda Dawson. And hi, Glenda.
Ashley, how you doing?
I feel like I have to do you justice and do a little bit of a bio for everybody that don't know who you are. So I'm going to give you guys a little snippet. I had to write it down so I can word it correctly. So, Glenda Dawson, she is the founder of a spiritual center, Glenda's Magic Creations, an internationally acclaimed intergalactic multi-modality spiritual practitioner and mentor. She is the matriarch of a lineage encompassing over 10 generations of gifted oracles and mystics. Glenda is also a holistic spiritual teacher, tarot reader, certifying tarot teacher, non-denominational minister, published author, and a widely showcased venue headliner, motivational speaker, and renowned published psychic medium. She is certified in over 100, guys. You heard that right, 100, probably more since this one. Lineage of Energy Healing Modalities. Yeah. That's like a little tiny snippet, guys. Like it goes on for days.
Probably. It's like, people say to me, why don't you put your certificates out? I said, I don't want to wallpaper the office.
I was going to say, I don't think there's enough wall. So at this point, it was 100. Where are we at now? I'm sure we've added on.
Yeah,
since then, right?
yeah, somewhere in the 150, somewhere around there.
So, guys, I am really blessed that Glenda is a very cherished, if I can talk, friend of mine and my mentor and teacher. And so for tonight, I asked her to join me, and if she could join me and we could chat about the Akashic records. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Akashic records. Maybe it's your first time. Maybe you visit them often. But that's our topic for tonight. So,
Yes.
Glenda, can you give us a little bit of a definition? What exactly is the Akashic records?
Well, the non-technical word or description that I give is like a filing cabinet where it has little files inside, and the little files are every experience that you've had, every thought, everything. And then it has its dividers, which is every lifetime. Basically, it's an energetic archive, vibrational field that contains every thought, experience, choice, and intention a soul has ever had. There are no physical books, but it's a spiritual dimension, basically, and could be accessed through expanded awareness. Basically, you have to do a little ritual or a little session with the proper prayer to open, to protect, to open, to get the information, and then to close and thank the other side, the energies. You will meet your guides that will help you through it. You will enter, and it's a very intense place because it's full of unconditional love. And you'll get the truth of who you are, who you were, what you need to know at this moment, so you can get great insights into your soul's journey.
Ooh, that's so beautiful. I feel like the world needs that unconditional love more than ever right now. So I guess, what is like the origin, or where did the Akashic records, like, how did it all begin?
It has always been there, but they finally started to call it something somewhere in the 19th century, early 20th century. That's when mystics like Edward Casey started calling it the Sanskrit word Akasha. And that's where they started doing the Akashic Chronicles, and they started teaching people how to access the records. They would put themselves in the trance, or put the person in a trance, and they offered, or definitely he did, he offered thousands of soul readings. um, a lot of the people nowadays continue that tradition, but they do it more like a guided meditation or a sacred prayer, and not exactly as letting himself, like he used to put himself in a trance and they get the information. Now people like myself would like to put you in a meditative state so you access your information, so you're getting direct truth. And I will confirm it or not, but I don't like to put things in people's mind and let them say it's the truth, because my perception of something could be a little different than yours. Right.
Right. And everybody has a different path and everything. That makes sense. So pretty much it's generationally passed down. So somebody teaches somebody, and then it passes throughout mentorship and families. And that is so magical. Okay, so as people are learning and they're hearing this, what do you think are some common misconceptions?
Well, common misconceptions are that you're going to find negative energies, or that I have nothing against anybody, but they say that that's devil's work, or that you're crazy, or that there's no healing found in there. And there is healing. There's always healing. There's nothing negative in there. And, mystics have done this type of work for others since day one, because they have been able to access the origin of the soul. They have been able to give the reasons why people are have fear of water, or have fear of heights, or have fear of fire. Maybe you got burned in 2 lifetimes ago, or it could have been you drowned 100 lifetimes ago. Who knows? And you carry that fear with you through each and every lifetime, and then now it's really hindering you. Like, you want to go to the shore, you want to be with your kids, you want to play in the water, and you're afraid to go in the water. So we sometimes get to the bottom of it that way. The biggest misconception I've always seen is that people think is BS. And that is why I do it the way I do it. Because then they can't say, oh, you just gave me whatever you thought. Because
Right.
we have good and bad in every field of work, and some people will just invent something instead of saying, you know what, I can't open it. You're not giving me the right permission. You're blocking me. And this way,
Right.
when you get in there, you'll see what you see, and then I could confirm, yes, that's what you're seeing. Or
Okay,
not.
so that's really good. So we know for sure that there's no negative entities anywhere near it, right? When you go in, you're completely safe.
safe, full of unconditional love. It's kind of like a filing cabinet in your own house, where you get your own paperwork. And you go in there and you get your own paperwork, and nobody's around you,
Knock the
right?
dust
Knock the
off.
dust off the filing cabinet, as I say, and do it that
Yeah.
way. So
That is so cool. So what do you tell people? Because I'm sure there's somebody that's going to listen to this either now or on another time when they play it back, and they're like, oh, well, maybe our mind is just making up this place, right? Or, how do we, is there any way to it's impossible to prove like anything spiritually 100%, but like, what can we do to
no, for sure.
get as close as
Well,
possible?
okay, I'm going to
know?
give you an example. I had a client once who came to me, and we accessed her Akashic records, and she was afraid of sleeping with her door closed in her bedroom. She could not sleep with the lights off, and she would not take a shower or a bath. She would literally sponge bath herself. Okay, and then we found out that the shower she died when the Jewish Armageddon, let's just say it that way. And she died. She was in one of those moments where she was put in a dark, enclosed train cart, okay, with a lot of people surrounding her. So she was claustrophobic. She didn't like the darkness. And then the shower represented that the acid that they were throwing at them, and the gas that they were throwing out to kill them. So once she realized where those fears were coming from, she started then releasing those fears, and even just energetically, just stating, no, this is not happening in this lifetime. She's, the last I heard, she was able to go to sleep with the lights off, her bedroom closed.
Wow.
She was able to take showers and baths and all that other stuff, and not feel claustrophobic or afraid of anything. So
Right.
I can't
beautiful.
prove exactly, but I could prove
Right.
by results.
Based on experience. So that her experience opened up her eyes like, okay, yeah, this is real. That is beautiful. So I feel like a lot of times we have so much fear that it blocks us off from experiencing anything. And that's why people say, oh, I can't do this. I can't meditate. I can't do this, because you're blocking your own self. We had a good question in the chat about, I guess, the visual. They want to know, do you see like symbols? Or is it just like files, or is it based on person? Does everybody
sees differently. Most people see what I call little movies, like little shorts, like we're doing now, a little little tiny things that gives them a hint. Now, for me, for my own records, I see symbols, and that's how they download the stuff to me. Because I could just set the intention that I want to access my Akashic records to find out why this particular thing, I don't know, hangnails keeps happening. And then during the night, I access them, and then I get the answers in symbols, which then in the morning, early morning, I draw those symbols, even though I can't draw for anything. And then I get the answers that way. So
See, we have some other people that's like a movie. That is cool. Whenever I get like visions outside of the Akashic records, it's like a movie. I always predict it like that. It's like slow motion.
Exactly.
and
You're watching that. You're not experiencing it again. You're so your emotions and all that are kind of blocked off, but you are watching what happened that got you to the point where you are today, or you when you ask the questions, you have to ask certain, if you're afraid of something, you ask the certain questions a certain way. It's how you set the intention to go in. Of course, there is your record keeper there, your record keeper guide there, who can help you. It's like the librarian, so to speak. You go in there and you say, I'm looking for this, and setting the intention. They go to whatever particular filing cabinet has the information, take it out, and then you could watch the movie in the computer, per se, or whatever. So you could set it up very elaborate if you wish, or very simple if you wish. So
do you think for people that are just starting, like envisioning like going into like a library helps? Because sometimes people need something to hold on to,
Exactly.
Like me. Right. Like if I can envision it as a library, it's a little helpful. Besides hitting me in the head or something.
Well, we can do that too, Ashley. But no, seriously, you have a point of reference for your monkey mind. Then your spiritual side, your more artistic side of your mind can go in there and work with that and give you the answers that you need, that you're asking.
I love that. I love how you have a shopkeeper. That's cool. I saw somebody in the chat said that they had books in different languages too. Is that basically because we have different, like, for people that believe in like past lives, and
not only that, that's light language. That's the original language. So it's when I go in there, I don't need to visualize it, because when I started doing it, I saw scrolls where it was written in light language.
That's beautiful.
So to me, that's why I asked for symbols, because I kind of understood back then symbols more than I did light language. And now, now it's like, whatever you guys want to show me, just show me. Let's get this show on the road. Just get it done.
I think mine might bolt in my door by now. Like they're just like, we'll try again next time. We give up on you, Ashley. Next lifetime, we'll try again.
And my guys are probably drinking with yours. Let's just say that. They're all like sitting at the bar. Can you believe her? I can't believe her either.
Fun fact, Sarah, Glenda does too. I witnessed it and I was like, this is so cool. It's better than anything I've ever seen in my life. And I'm jealous, but because it's really cool. Do you want to share like a little snippet, if it's not too personal, of your first experience, like where you were like a little kid? I know a lot of stuff you did, you were really young. So were you really young when you first
witnessed it, I was actually 15 after my first near-death experience. It was like 2 years later. And this lady who was our neighbor just came over and said, look, we never talked about this, but they directed me and they're not letting me get away with it. So I have to come to you and talk to you. You need to go to your records. And I'm like, my records? Like what? And I'm thinking my vinyl, right? Because I'm that old. So I'm thinking my 33s, my 45s, which one do you want? And she's like, no, your spiritual records, the ones that keep your whole lifetime. The book of life. And I was like, okay, how do I access that? And she took me there. Now, my first experience was, why did I have fear of water at that time? Well, besides the fact that the reason I had that near-death experience, because I was really dead, I had gone to the ocean, I was swimming or playing around in the water, and really, really bad undertow took me out, and I drowned. And I actually saw my body just floating while I was going
Mhm.
up, and I'm like, okay, this is not good. Uh,
Right.
and
At
yeah,
15,
no,
right? Was that
13.
15?
When it happened,
13.
it was
Okay.
13.
Wow.
Yeah. So they showed me
Oh
that
my goodness.
in every lifetime, for the last 13 lifetimes, I had drowned in one way or another. I always came back, but I had drowned in one way or another. In one,
Oh, and you were able to
and
see
I was,
that in the
yes,
Akashic records, like each
right.
lifetime of
Like
doing it. That's
one I was
crazy.
taking, I was in a bathtub and I slipped and I went under
Mhm.
and I couldn't get up for some reason. I think
Mhm.
that was more like somebody was helping me stay down, but let's not go there. Uh, and then there was flooding that took me, and I passed away, and then I came back. So there was a lot of lifetimes that it was a concurrent, a very interesting theme there. Um, and
Yeah.
basically, it helped me understand that I didn't need to be afraid of water, because even though I experienced the death, I always came back.
Right.
And
Wow.
and it was just because I needed to see something, or I needed to experience something, or there was something I needed to get activated. Because when I came
Mhm.
back, then there was a lot of new gifts that came back with me. Let's just say that. So,
Ew. That's great. So, like, I would be sitting there looking like, I know I'm not about to do this again next time. Hold on, time out.
look,
Okay.
Ashley.
Like, that's a lot of times.
Ashley, well, it's already 13.
I
That's my
know.
lucky number. That's it. You know that I
Yeah.
already said that when I go back up there, I'm going to punch the living crap out of me.
And they're going to say, Glenda, obviously you ain't
Yeah,
even
that's
learned, so we're
it
going to go on back
now.
down. I just want to talk to myself and decided that why did I pick right like
Right.
now? Like, really, at the state of at the way the world is this past my 38 years of life, like, what?
Mhm. God, dear Lord.
That is so funny. um, oh my goodness. So 13 and then 15. Wow, that's a
Yes, that's
lot.
a lot.
That's
It's
a
a
lot.
lot. But since I
So,
never turned off my knowledge, when I came into this lifetime, so
mhm.
to me it was like, okay, another crazy thing that's happening. All right, what else? So
All right, okay. So we know that we can see near death
yeah,
experiences. What other questions can we
you
get
could get
answered?
answers as to why you're afraid of something, why you're keep choosing
Mhm.
the same type of relationship, what is it
Mm,
that you need to learn, what direction is it that you should be going towards. Like, sometimes we think we're not in our path, and we are, and sometimes we think we're on our path and we're not. Maybe
mm,
there's a new healing modality, a new healing technique that you need to learn, um, that kind of thing. Like, you have been suggesting that I teach you shamanism, and that's something
mhm.
that's in the Akashic records that you and a couple of others in the class keep, because they're like, it's her time to do this. Come on, push her, because she knows she's getting the
So
sign.
I need to go see. I need to see Glenda shopkeeper and be like, can you tell her I'm begging down here?
So, but yeah.
What do you say for like free will changes? Because like you're meant to. Let's say I was meant to be with David, but what if I said, what? Screw him, I'm not gonna do it. Does it shift, or is it already know that's gonna
No,
happen?
you have free
Like, how does
will.
that work?
It can it
Mm,
what it lets you see is all the possibilities for every decision you
mm,
make. So when you go in there at this very moment, you have made a conscious decision to stay with David. So it shows you
mm-hmm,
all of the results that are possible staying with David. Now, if you go
mm,
in there and you say,
mm,
should I stay with David or should I not stay with David? Then it will show you all the different possibilities, staying or not staying.
Now
Interesting.
It's funny because I was thinking about sometimes, I just want to, he's probably watching.
I know Larry's watching, so I can't say too much. Yes, there are times that the barbecue vision comes through. Yes. On a grill, just slowly.
Just one good time. And then it's saying we can't hit the respawn button, and then they just come on back. Let's see. So, they're talking about how beautiful. Yes, she does look so beautiful.
Thank you, Cindy.
I love it. Okay, so if somebody's trying for the first time, what do you think? Like, will they feel like warm, see colors? Like, what kind of feelings do you think?
If somebody is trying it for the first time, I'm going to say right off the bat, they should go to somebody who's already professional doing it to help them through it. Don't do it by yourself, because although when you're there, Larry, when you're there, you have protection and all that. Getting there, it opens up a portal. You know that. Whenever we work with energy, it opens up some type of portal. So you need protection, and you want to make sure that you are protected spiritually, and that the answers are true, and that there are no jokesters showing you a different Akashic records. Okay, so that's why certain prayers were created for that. Certain feel safe type of environment you should create, and that kind of thing. So,
and you would help, like, if, let's say, because you're obviously here and you do it, so do you give people okay, maybe try having this kind of candle color or this
I asked them to have crystals around them, to have your emblems or protections or pendants or bracelets, with certain crystals. I asked them to have certain type of music. I asked them to have certain type of candles. I also asked them, especially if I'm all the way over here and you're over there in Virginia and I'm in Pennsylvania, I would say, you want to just do a quick cleansing, a quick, use sage, use Palo Santo, anything to protect your environment, to create, that temple of sacredness. So,
and you don't have to, and so that answers the next question. You don't have to be in person. This can be done over Zoom if you have a trusted person.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's energy, so anything could be done through Zoom energetically. And I even help people do it through the phone, just speaking in voice only. So it isn't like, we're seeing each other. I could help them through it if they don't have access to a camera, or the phone is not up to having a video call. Right. So we just do it on a regular phone call. I know it's strange, but it does happen. It does happen.
That's awesome, because I love the fact that we live in a time to where you can just jump on a Zoom call and do all this beautiful healing and all these experiences.
That's one of the good things. That's one of the good things that came out of COVID, because we all got closer to, and we have now an access to all these things that we didn't before.
Yeah, it seemed like that, we felt like, oh my God, we're going to be secluded, but we figured everything blew up.
Yeah.
People were taking classes, actual school classes. My kids were doing school online. It is really interesting. I have a personal question I was looking at, and, if you're new here, most people know that I'm an autism mom. And I was looking into how the Akashic Records talks about autism in children. And do you want to share anything on how special that is? Because it really touched my soul, but I want to make sure it's, because you can't trust everything.
No. The internet is full of different versions of the truth. What I say to anybody who has autistic children, especially like yourself, is when you go in there,
Mhm.
you can access being the mother of a child. You can access their records
Mm.
and understand what it is they need in particular to help them through their autism journey. Okay, you
I love
can help. You could pick up what they need, what kind of particular for each one of them, what particular language they're speaking, because sometimes they may be verbal, but they may be speaking a certain dialect of light language.
Oh yeah, my chat here is. I call it chant. He's quiet right now, but sometimes we call it chanting, and he gets to going.
Yeah,
And
and he's actually autistic kids are very connected. They never
Mm,
really learned how to close that. They are so
right.
special. They come with a lot more knowledge, and it's kind of the reason
Mm,
they're the way they are is because they're overloaded with energy. They're
mm,
overloaded with
yeah,
information.
they don't
They don't
share.
share, and they come into this
They don't share.
3D density, and they're like, "What do we do with all this?" So
Yeah,
they kind of
yeah.
want to close off, so they don't feel that density.
Oh my goodness, I want to learn how to do that. Just not as because I don't want to change anything. I just want to how can I support him better as a
Exactly.
mother? Make him making sure his success in this
Exactly.
lifetime. So you said for our children we can, but what if let's say your marriage is crumbling? Are you able to peek in
For
and see
you,
what
if
the
it affects
conflict for
you,
me only? Okay, so we're 18 and
yeah,
under
because
only.
you're the
That's the only thing.
guardian. Or if they're older, but you're still a guardian, yes. So that's the way I look at it. You're the one who can consent,
Mhm.
and that's how they
Gotcha.
look at it too. So
So this is a good thing to talk about too. So a facilitator can access it for you. So do you get people to say, "Hey, can you just go into mine and tell me what I need as a certain topic," or do you prefer to go in with
I
them? Is it ever
I I get a lot of people saying they want me to go in. I try to encourage them to go in by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
First go into their own records. I'm there with them. So we kind of
Mm-hmm.
hold hands, energetically, and we go in together. But if they insist that they don't want to go in there because they're afraid of what they're going to see, then
Mm,
I'll go in there and get the information that they desire. The questions,
mm,
they have to be very specific. They can't just say, "Show
right.
me the last lifetime." No, for that we go do
It's a
yeah.
long
Not only
life.
that, but for that we'll just do a lifetime regression. That
Okay.
instead of, because you may not want to see the last lifetime. So when we do
Mhm.
a past life regression, we actually go to a lifetime that your guides know you could handle.
Mm,
So
I like that. Interesting, because you never know. What if you were,
or you
abused
were
many
a serial killer. You don't want to. I don't want to
Oh
see
yeah.
that.
No, me
Although,
neither.
but give me ideas for Larry.
No, I saw he said when he sees a whole dog. I'm the same way because David, he's like 6'3", and I'm just like, man, that's a lot of
That is a
digging.
lot of digging,
That's
and
why.
he's tall too and big, and so
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
so I would have to get a few girlfriends to hold the flashlight and take turns.
Oh my goodness, Larry, we got a team over here. Maybe we could do the side by
Side by side.
side.
There you go.
Then they'd have company.
So
Oh my
yes.
goodness. Oh, I love
Mhm.
this. I love it. Um, I had a question and it just flew out my mind. Okay. So do you think that children should access theirs, or do you think that they should be 18 or
I
you were
was
15? Do you think it's based on if you have somebody you can
It's based on
trust?
somebody you could trust. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it
Mm,
for a child 10 under, only
okay.
because they're still in that impressionable age. You know, there are a lot of, yes, okay, I have seen them, rare occasion, but there are a lot of teenagers that are a lot more grown up than their age, their time, you know, their actual age. So they're more
Right.
mature, they're able to handle more. They're asking for these questions. They want to know, why is it that I am getting all of these bad luck things? Everything I plan doesn't work out. So, you know, when you're in high school and you may want to play football, say, or you want to play soccer, and every single time you try, you're great at it, and then there's an injury. And the pain comes back, and they can't find anything particular about it. So they may want to find out, what is it that happened before that, or what is it that they can do to fix that pain, to help get rid of that pain, so they can proceed and go into whatever sports they want.
Yeah. I kind of align with Mandy. I think I'm nosy. I'm so nosy. Like,
Curious being, let's just call it that, because I'm a Gemini, and you know, we're not nosy, we're curious beings. We like to experience everything and learn about everything. So
she said, can you throw off files?
Mandy, no, because we're not the record keepers.
We need the record keeper now, please. We need to talk. I don't agree with this one. I need to amend it. There we go, Mandy. We're going to amend it.
There you go. We can amend it for this lifetime, but I don't think we can amend it for the other lifetimes. It's still a work in progress in this one.
I told you, mine's faulty, guys. Mine, my team to put the lock on. They're like, no more. Oh my goodness. Hot fudge cake. They're in there talking about ice cream and hot fudge.
Oh Lord, I know. Hey, you know, he's like the fourth person today has spoken about. I'm like, God, I'm trying to stay away from that here. Come on.
Him and his brother. They're in here talking about hot fudge. I have a few chapters of my need now. I need the flame. Start over. Is it insured? just slide it up.
Insurance for the Akashic records. Make sure it covers natural disasters like fire, you know, the floods, lightning.
Yeah. Lightning. There we go. That's doable. Then it was accident. That's that. That's why it's faulty, guys. I'd be like, you want me to do what? So if somebody, obviously I'm biased. I'm going to say, reach out to Glenda, but what should somebody look for in a person that's going to guide them? How do they know they have somebody that they can trust? What are some things they should look for?
First of all, a person that they could trust will never force them, will always ask them for permission, especially for the Akashic records. They would, if you ask them a question about that goes against free will and they say, yeah, I'm willing to do that, stay away from them. Because nobody should take anybody's free will anywhere. And no matter in what dimension you're in what lifetime you're in, or even if you're an animal versus, a plant versus a human being versus a galactic, you should not. That's one thing that's universal. Free will. And right.
Free will.
Exactly. No, so if you go to somebody and they're like, oh, you're looking for love, is that where you want to go in there? And they're saying, oh, I could make I could do a session for you where the love of your life comes in, not general love, but this one particular person, then run. Because free will is something that every living thing has. So
right, because technically you should be asking the universe to provide the right person for you.
Right, the highest grade is good
in general.
Exactly.
Yeah, not
Right.
in particular.
You shouldn't chain somebody
Okay.
to you, because then when you're done with them, they're still chained to you. That's the little karma part
Yeah.
that nobody understands.
Mm-mm.
So
No, get on my nerves. They gotta go. Except for David, he's stuck with me. Him.
right about now, he's fainting, going, "Oh,
I asked him the other day. I was like, 'cause I think Amy was doing this question thing, and I was like, David, what's the one trait you like about me? He kind of stood. He's like, seriously, and he's like, you're passionate. I was like, good guy. I was like, bravo, you live.
oh,
Oh, Larry said he owned.
oh well."
Shackled. So since this question popped up, do you have time for the little treat or no?
Sure, I could do a quick.
Or
I could
not?
do a quick thing. Now,
I want to make sure we have time to talk about your upcoming
okay,
events.
well, my upcoming events. Let's see. First one is on Tuesday night. I have a great soul activation healing session, which will hit your soul and activate certain gifts, and also will help you with any depression you may have, with any symptoms that may be physically hurting you, whatever it is. So it's a very intense activation, and it will definitely help everyone to get exactly what they're looking for right now, especially since the world is at a very particular level of energy vibrationally. So,
Okay, guys. So Miss Glenda has agreed so kindly to give us a little quick peek on how to do a little small
just
intro.
a little bit. Okay.
If you're, just a little bit. And then you guys can take that and contact her. I put her website right here. Email her and she can, dig in and really help you get going. And also please look at all her other classes. Like she said, Tuesday, she has mediumship.
Thursday,
She does Reiki.
Thursday's mediumship,
no.
yeah.
Tuesday's the special
activation. Yes, that one.
Yeah. There's a lot that she's done. And hopefully, mark these words, shaman's coming soon.
Shamanism is coming soon. Jeez. Yeah, but that is a commitment. You know that. That's not a one class. So.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Okay, guys. So as long as you're not driving, I'm gonna let Glenda do her thing. So if you're, not distracted, now's a great time.
Right now, I'm gonna ask everyone, if you're here and you stay here, you're giving consent to this. I am not taking free will away. I'm letting you. If you stay, you're giving consent, and that's between you and your spiritual team. Since I'm not hearing it, so they take over. Now, I also want you to just take nice deep breaths and close your eyes for a second, and you will visit your own Akashic records. Now, the prayer I use is geared by me, but I don't care what kind of name you give to the creator, to God, to the divine. It could be the green frog for all I care. As long as you resonate with that the higher power that you believe in, that you resonate with. So let's go and take those deep breaths. And so we now do acknowledge the forces of light and asking for guidance, for direction, and for courage to know the truth, as it is revealed for our highest good and the highest good of all connected to us. Oh, divine spirit, spirit of God, protect us from all forms of self-centeredness and direct our attention to the work at hand. Help the person know that in the light, they are going into their Akashic records. Shine bright now the librarian or the keeper in there. Their particular librarian, their particular keeper. Help them see through the eyes of the Lords of the records and enable them to share the wisdom and compassion that the masters, the teachers, and the loved ones have for each and every one of you, and you have for them. We're opening the records now. Now you may see a library, which is good. Let's go there, the library, and you go into the help center desk and ask them a particular question. And as you're asking them that particular question, see what you see, take note of what you see, what you feel, any insights that come to you, or any just knowing. Maybe you see your joy guide there with you, laughing and giggling, and that little girl or boy just having fun while you're trying to find the answer to your particular question. But these are all important things. Maybe you asking, like, what is my soul learning through this experience? What past patterns I am ready now to release, especially for those that, including myself, that kept going into a relationship of the same type. I didn't learn the first time or the second time. I had to keep doing it over and over. What truths want to emerge from these books, from this library, so you can learn more of who you are? What are the next steps that align best and for your greatest good, for your soul's purpose? Now remember, whatever you feel, you see, maybe you smell something, those are all hints. Those are all little symbols. Maybe you see a symbol, and when we close these records and we are back here, write them down right away, or find a way to jot them, even if it's in your phone, or record yourself saying it, or whatever it is. The answer you may not remember later. You want to take note of everything, what you smell, what you hear, what you experience. Maybe you experience a feeling of joy, or maybe you experience your heart rate going really fast, or you feel this unconditional love right going into your heart, and that's what you need. You need to feel safe in order for you to open up and surrender in this lifetime and be in the journey that you're supposed to be in. And maybe they're showing you need to get rid of who you're with, or the person that's yours is coming real soon. Be open. And now I want you to take a deep breath. Exhale. Thank the librarian or the record keeper there. Thank your guide that was there with you. As I would like to now thank the masters, the teachers, and the loved ones for their love and compassion in allowing us to access our Akashic records. I would like to thank the Lords of the Records. I would like to thank the highest and greatest divine being that oversees everything, for their point of view, for their knowledge. I also like to thank the Spirit of Light for all the knowledge and healing we just received. Take a deep breath. Exhale. The records are now closed. The records are now closed. The records are now closed. Take a deep breath. Thank yourself for allowing you to go there. And you could open your eyes whenever you want.
So beautiful. That was beautiful. So that, guys, was just a little tiny intro. Like, she goes deep and will help you open up the books and do all the things to the books.
Mhm.
If you guys are
We can't
interested.
burn them. We can't tear them out. We can't get rid of them. We can't flood them. But, you can bypass that chapter if you want and read something else. So,
Mm. How many times do you think somebody should have somebody guide them until they're pretty much, or is it based on the person, until
it's
they're ready to
based
do it
on the
on their own?
person. And,
Mm.
that is something that not only is it personal, but also how much you trust your protection.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Because I was wondering, like, how many you would need before you could do it on your own.
That's just, depending on the trust and how connected you are to your spiritual team. Because,
Mm.
you don't want to open up anything and then find that what's coming out is not exactly what you want. So,
Right. Do you have any final wisdom on this?
again, the first time, don't do it by yourself. I don't care how many books you read. You want somebody there with you that can take you out if you need to, can, detach, could cut those cords, can touch anything, any entity that comes back with you. You want to be sure that you are safe. After that, like I said, it depends on the person. I have many that never want to do it themselves. And that's perfectly okay because I know the questions to ask. Even though they say,
Right.
oh, I'm not sure. I want to heal from this relationship, but I guide them through the questions. And I guide them through making sure that they're safe. So,
I love it. That's exciting. I'm ready. Tonight I'm gonna go back and go see my shopkeeper. We're gonna talk. Let me see. Are you able to get all your records, or would you take years and years to access everything? That's a good question.
it depends. If the lesson that you need for right now has been traveling for lifetime to lifetime, they are they're going to show you all the records for that particular thing. So if you it's only like 1 or 2 lifetimes, then they'll show you just that. But you have access to everything once you're there. So
Somebody said, "Do you get headaches? Do you feel anything? Like, is there any symptoms?"
me,
or
no,
the
I
dad?
don't. I'm very blessed in that sense that before I start this, you know how I am, Ashley. I'm about protection,
Mhm.
protection, and protection. I do a full cleansing of myself before I even start, so I don't even bring my energy into your Akashic records or anything that I do.
Yeah.
So,
And I know a lot of times with your healings, you have us drink a lot of
yes,
water afterwards. Would that be
yes, it
helpful
would be.
to kind of like cleanse it all
Mm-hmm.
away?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Mm.
water is a great conduit. It helps you release any negativity or any wrong emotions. It helps you balance and it helps you ground. So,
Mm.
but
Yes, I love it. I wish it was coffee, but technically, coffee is mostly water. Is that coffee?
it's water. The base is water. It's a colorful water.
I want to show. I have a picture of your upcoming activation. I hope it's saved. If it's going to pop up,
Okay,
maybe.
maybe.
Glenda's class. When I want things to work, is it going to pop up for me?
Yes, yes,
No,
yes, yes,
beautiful.
yes,
There
yes,
we
yes. It's coming.
There we go.
There it is.
There we go. So just to make sure you guys understand, this is happening this coming up Tuesday. Again, glendasmagicalcreations.com. You can find Glenda on Facebook, on YouTube, on Conscious Awakening Network, on Roku. I think you guys on Apple TV. All the
Yes, like
things.
on TikTok,
TikTok.
Instagram, Meetup. You could even find me there. So, everywhere.
Meetup. That's the one I always miss Meetup.
So,
But
yes,
yeah, so definitely check that
and
out,
it's at
guys.
7 p.m. Eastern for those that are,
7
right.
p.m. Eastern.
And it's a very good thing to do, especially right now with all the energies and the way they are right
Right.
now.
And we're coming into a new shift like
Right.
we talked about on your
Right.
show. Guys, if you missed that, every Wednesday, she does pretty much what I'm doing right now, but she has really, really cool guests, all kinds of topics. Glenda's Dragon's Den. It's really good. Check that out too. And I was on it
Yes,
this
she was. Yeah.
I know you're probably thinking, what is wrong with Glenda? But okay, what am I missing that you're about to do that I wanted to tell them? Am I missing anything?
Let's
That you might have
say
wanted
I stream Reiki sessions every Monday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. I stream Glenda's Dragon's Den on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. Then we do the council Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern. And the council is channel messages from the councils of light, whatever council it is. And then on Thursday nights, we do mediumship at 7 p.m. Eastern. And there may be more events coming up. I'm getting downloads right now, so they're in the works.
Okay.
And there's
So
a
best to
lot
check.
of
Meet up, right? Meet up
Yeah.
for that.
Meet up
Okay.
for that. Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
meetup is Glenda's Magical Creations, Glenda's Magical Creations meditation group, Reiki group, and there's one that's private, and that's because I want to make sure that everybody feels safe being there, that they're not going to be outed at their work or anything like that. So you go
Right.
in there,
Right.
and then everything is safe there.
Yes, and mediumship's a great time, guys, and it's open for all levels. Whether you've never done it, you want to see if you can do it, which you will be able to by the time you leave, or if you've been doing it for years and you're just getting some experience.
Exactly, and it's a practice. Everybody needs practice because it helps you and it helps those around you. So
Yes, and you get to hear some cool messages.
yes, some very interesting, juicy
You
messages.
never know who might scurry on in. Glenda, thank you so much. I had a great time. I'm so thankful for all the wisdom.
Thank you.
No, I love you.
Yes, and I love you too. You know that. And thank you to everyone who chatted and everyone that's watching.
So next up for you, though, Sunday, tune in because she brings back messages from the Council of Nine on Sundays on her page. So that's next in line. So make sure you check that out. I want to take the time to thank every single person that came into the chat, everybody that liked, shared. We'll watch this later or watching it right now. Thank you so much. I will see you guys back next Friday for World's Most Cursed Locations Part 2. It will be heavy on the United States because I know a lot of us are here. So that way, maybe it's in your neck of the woods and you might want to go check out what's cursed. I hope to see you guys there. Have a great weekend. Thank you again.